I'm going to show you the process of creating a story. It's exciting, right? Okay, let's get started. So I want to talk about inspiration. So where do you come up with the inspiration for film? Well, you have to understand, movie is universal, meaning emotion is universal. If a movie makes certain people cry in the United States, they're going to make certain people cry in China. So, meaning when there is certain emotion generated by the movie, your audience will feel it. If you've done your movie right, the audience should feel what you want them to feel. Because movie is an emotional media. Your audience must feel the emotion you want them to feel. Story is personal because story is based on personal experience, and you bring that experience visually onto the screen and show it to the audience. It's very personal, but at the same time, you can show it to 1 million people and they can relate to your personal story. That's what's so great about filmmaking. So let's talk about creating your story. First, you gotta create your main character. This main character is the person the audience are going to relate to the most. The audience will identify with his emotion and what he's going through the most. They're going to follow him through the movie. So that is your main character. So this main character has to have a need that he wants something really bad. Sometimes what he wants could be life and death. If he doesn't get it, he will die. So he must get that. So you have to decide what that goal is, what your character wants. But if it's a love story, it could be that his goal is to go out with this girl and date with this girl. And that's his goal. So maybe if she turns him down, he will die in his heart. He really wants to go out with her, and he has to think all kinds of ways to go out with her. Second, you have to create a conflict for him. Okay? A conflict is something that's stopping what he wants. If he asks the girl out and she says, yes, I will go out, I really like you too, then the movie's over, right? There's no story there. So you create a conflict that will stop him from going out with the girl. Okay, what is the conflict? That comes to our third part. You create a villain. This villain could be a bad guy. This villain could be a bad situation. For example, the bad guy could be her dad. He doesn't want you to go out with her. Or could be her crazy ex-boyfriend who's gonna kill you if you go out with her. So you create this conflict that stops your main character getting what he wants. So now your main character have to fight to get what he wants. Now that is getting interesting. Your main character must fight to get what he wants. And then we continue to watch the movie till the end. He either gets the girl or he doesn't get the girl. So that is the basic creation for your story. So you come up with a story, you think of a main character, you create a conflict, you create the opposite force that stops your main character, and your main character must fight and go head to head with this force that's stopping him. And he must fight, and then in the end he pushes through and he gets what he wants. And then everybody's happy, or he doesn't get what he wants and he dies. He become a hero, maybe. You know, he saved the girl, but he dies. So there could be all kind of ending. But your ending must mean something, send a message. It could be a very simple message. Good triumphs over evil. Good wins over evil. Or love wins over hate. You gotta have a message to your story. And when the audience finish watching your story, they feel satisfied because people go to a movie, they want to be entertained. Deep down inside, people likes an order to a story. They might not know it, but when they finish the story, they say, oh, I really like that story. They don't know why, but I can tell you why. Because you gave them an order and you gave them a message and they feel satisfied. They don't feel like, oh, that was a waste of time, right? So I like to bring a movie, for example, for you guys to see. Then it's easier for you guys to identify who's the main character and who's the villain and what is the conflict in the film. I want to talk a little bit about Back to the Future. I know it's an old movie, but it's a classic movie for me, okay? It has the perfect structure, perfect story, perfect villain, perfect conflict, okay? So you might want to see other newer movies, that's great, but I'm using this movie for example, and after you watch this movie and after you listen what I have to say, you can watch any movie and you'll understand why certain movies are good and why you like certain movie, because they have the right formula, okay? So I want to talk about Back to the Future.
Lou?
Back to the Future is the perfect example. We have the main character, Marty, okay? And he accidentally traveled to the past and accidentally break up his dad and mom's chance to meet. So without his dad meeting his mom, he will be erased. He will die. He will disappear from the earth. So his goal is to bring his dad and mom together so they will have him and he will exist in this world. I mean, that's his goal. It's pretty serious goal because if he doesn't get his mom and dad together, he's gonna die. So it is fun because he traveled back in time and try to save himself. So the conflict is the bad guy named Biff. Biff is the guy stopping his dad from going out with his mom. So Biff wants to go out with his mom. So Biff's gonna screw things up. So Marty must stop Biff from going out with his mom and let his dad go out with his mom. So it's really a fun movie, but it has the element of what we talked about. The main character, the conflict, the villain, and the end resolution is he's brave, he beat up Biff, and he saved his dad and mom. They got together, and he go back to the future, which is present, and he did not die, and he still exists. So he appreciate his life, and he sees his dad and mom, and that's the end. So that's a perfect example of a story. So today's assignment, I want you to open the workbook. There's assignment of creating your own story, and I have all the listing. So on the list, there are main character, villain, what's your character want,